Oh, all right. This is not my favorite thing to do, public speaking, but this is what we're gonna do. And I wanted to become a comedian at one point. Remember this? Um, Still do. I don't know how to write jokes. Not a joke writer. I'm just a ha
Are
ha
you
person.
recording yet?
We are. Okay, so
All right, ready? I'm gonna start it in three, two, one.
alrighty, welcome to Before the Lobotomy podcast. I'm Emerald X. This is
What's going on? I'm Kipling or Taco. Some people call me Taco. I stream on stuff as Taco, so we can go by that.
this is our first podcast. We are gonna do a couple of these. Couple of test pilots, I guess. Whatever. Um, I guess a little background info on us. Um, I'm a mentally ill gamer, and and
Aren't we all?
Taco is a marine, so also mentally ill. And sorry,
For the record, not actually.
not
But
actually mentally ill. No, not actually mentally ill. So he gets discharged. Then we'll start. Then we start the process. No, I'm kidding. We don't know exactly what we're doing with the show yet.
it'll just be these first few episodes. We'll just see how it goes and everything like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's just random. It's just the two of us. A young
do we have an
man
intro yet?
and his. I don't know. Should we have Should we have an intro? I guess we should.
We
I
can
don't.
we can have it. We can have an intro eventually.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Right now it should be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Graphics are coming, guys. This will probably be a week. This will be a weekly podcast. Um, Taco will be here a lot. He has to work. He's high up in the organization, and you're not going to really hear much about his job. Not really hear much about his opinions, views, so on and so forth, because he does work for the government, and it's just we don't want him getting in trouble. I don't want to get put on a list um, that I'm probably am on already. um, but every week we'll try to give you an episode and just talk till our heart's content. Um, we will be putting a Patreon there soon. Don't know what we're gonna put behind there yet. Probably more. It's gonna be me behind the paywall right now, because I'm gonna say outlandish shit, and Taco can't be saying outlandish shit.
Don't worry, you can clip all the things that you want to and put them up, get them canceled.
Oh, it'd be fun. Oh, that's how oh, yes. Show my ex-girlfriends how important I am. Um, yeah. Besides that, we're just kind of going along for the ride. That's something that I've wanted to do for years. I tried to get it off the ground many times, but I haven't had the right person to really bounce back and forth with. So, me and Taco have only known each other for like a very short amount of time, and met through another fellow Marine, but we fucking clicked right away, and we have the same hatred for everything, and that's what really brought us together. Uh, he deals with me and my fucking issues, and he's really chill about everything. I'm sure he wishes he could choke me out half the time, and
Sometimes.
I agree. I would want to be choked out, Daddy. What?
Oh, pause.
No Diddy. I'm gonna ride that till it fucking dies. Also pause. Yeah, pause on that too, actually.
Podcast will be a pretty good thing. I've
Yeah.
also been wanting to do it. I've been asked to be gone on it to a couple podcasts here and there, just for, to go in with some buddies and just talk about it so we can, hopefully this kicks off if you guys want to see more or listen to us ramble about random ass stuff, uh, just go ahead and I guess subscribe. What are we posting this on? Like YouTube?
Yeah, we'll post it on YouTube. And the Patreon will be, I don't know, I think relatively cheap in the beginning, obviously. I really don't, I know it's hard out there. People charge absurd prices. But I also get that people do have money. I'm thinking from a poor perspective. I'm poor. Yeah. And this will be over. We're actually doing this over Discord right now. Our faces will come sooner or later. He's going to get a camera. Um, but we live in two different states. I'm in New York. I'm not going to say where unless you want to say where you are. I don't know if you want
I'm
to
in
say
North Carolina.
North Carolina. And yeah, so this is actually pretty cool. Uh, yeah, man, I can ramble on forever. I just need you to shut me up
Hopefully,
sometimes.
hopefully we can get some money. Like one, I mean, it's not only for the money, obviously, but
I'll take your
if
money.
you know, if we eventually, get some stuff, like get some, merch out eventually and stuff like that. Like if this becomes a huge thing, which I hope it does, we can do, travel vlogs
Yeah,
and
that'd be
travel
fun.
vlogs. Like that'd be
Oh yeah.
awesome. Go
Oh, going on
go different
fucking
places.
bro, that'd be so
Um,
awesome. I always want to go to Italy
what's
so bad.
what's some country like? I'll start it off with like I guess a topic. What
Yeah.
what are some what are some countries that you would love to visit? And I'll put in places that I've been because I've traveled around a lot, and not only in the Marine Corps but also outside the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
So I have both perspectives of being there for business and being there for just on vacation and stuff. So what are some places that you would love to go to in the world?
Um, Considering I haven't left the East Coast, ever, uh, definitely Italy, because family's from there. I definitely want to go to where, my father used to live. I mean, he lived all over. So he moved around so much and this is back in like the 70s, I think. Yeah, like 70s, early 80s. And I want to visit Sicily. Um I wouldn't mind Germany. I hear they're fun over there. Uh Spain. I hear Spain's great. I already cursed already. I'm gonna again. All right. Well, gonna have to edit those out.
Demonetized already.
Demonetized already. I think it's like the first 10 minutes we can't do anything. I don't even know how true that is. I don't know. But I don't want to go to France. I can tell you that much. I do not want to go to France.
I think it's the amount that you curse. If you could just keep making it provocative,
Yeah,
that's probably when.
I'll probably edit it out. I'm gonna edit out the curses in the beginning, guys. I'm gonna try to keep. I have to work on myself anyways.
Keep
This
it
is a
PG.
working on myself podcast. Um, but yeah, I want to avoid France. I hear they're very terrible people. And everyone seems to agree. And everyone that I talked to was like, "Yeah, no, I don't want to go to France. They're terrible people. Um, they hate everybody for some reason." What else? Where I really want to go? I want to go to the Nordic countries. They're just generally great people over there, from what I hear. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't think of. Really don't want to go to the Eastern Bloc too much. Can avoid that section. Um, Greece maybe.
What's one like? What's the top pick that you would go to?
Oh,
Probably
Italy.
Italy, right?
Italy,
Yeah. Okay.
100%. Just because there's so much there, you know. I mean, I want to go to Germany for like I want to see. I've always been a war history type buff, I guess. But I mean, also Italy, just it's beautiful. The women, mostly the women, the architecture. You
So
know,
I've been to Italy. I went to so when I was back in I think it was 2018. I was graduating class, and we had like a Europe trip that we went on,
oh
and it
no,
was 2 weeks, and we ended up going to Italy, Amsterdam, Germany, and
ooh,
Croatia, and it was a very fun time. I loved every minute of it. we like bounced around and stuff, different hotels and everything like that. It
Cool.
wasn't as expensive as you would think,
Well, how
but
long ago was this?
it was back in 2018.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was 16 at the time, and if you don't know, Canada's at least Quebec's schooling goes to grade 11, and that's where I went through high school was in Canada, in Quebec, Montreal.
Sorry. Oh
So
man.
basically, I graduated in 2018, and I was 16 years old, just turned 16, and we went to Europe for a couple weeks, and it was actually really fucking nice. Um, I will say Italy. I went to Venice, Italy,
Mm.
and also I went to Rome.
Yeah,
So
great
those were
place.
pretty places. Very, very awesome. Um, I remember in Venice, one of my buddies, like we went to this one local restaurant, right? And we sat down and we're like, oh, let's get some pasta, and they had a whole bunch of wines and stuff, and everyone was wanting to, it was legal for, I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
16, it's legal to drink
Yeah, I think it
wine
starts at
and beer,
12. Yeah, I think it starts at
wine
12,
and beer,
13. Yeah.
um, and then alcohol, like actual hard liquor, is still 18 or 21. I can't remember.
Oh really?
Um, yeah,
That makes
it's
sense
so
actually.
you can it's so you can have beer and wine at dinner and stuff.
Yeah.
But my buddy, he looks at a wine. I can't remember now what it's called, but he
Was it
goes
red
and
or
he's
white?
like, it was a red one.
Chianti?
I can't remember.
Fuck.
But he sits down, he's looking at the menu, and he's like, oh, let me get a glass of this. And he looks at the menu, and it was like 140 euro or more or something. It was like very expensive. He's like, oh, that must be for a bottle. So he asked for a tasting, right? Where they give a little tiny glass, like a little bit bigger than a shot glass, smaller than a whiskey glass, and you get to taste the wine. And he tasted it, and we have our dinner, and everybody's having a good time. And then the bill comes, and his bill was like over $100. He's like, "What the heck? What do you mean?" And then the waiter was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, it's that was the price for the tasting, was 100 and something euro." And we're like, "Oh
Jesus.
my goodness!" And it's because it's such like really, I guess, aged or really like really good fucking wine. So obviously, it's a lot. And that's when we
God
learn, like,
damn.
oh, make sure we understand the menu before we buy some things. And so that was fun.
What was Amsterdam?
Amsterdam.
Well, you
Amsterdam
were
was
young
cool.
too, so you didn't really get to enjoy it.
Yes and no.
Oh.
um I'm not going to go into specifics of what I did.
Yeah. What
um
was the red light district introduced to you?
yes, it was actually. so
Ah.
so we were there with some teachers, right? It was supposed to be a trip from the school with the
Mhm.
graduates, right? I don't know if my high school does it anymore, just because of COVID and all that. um and Europe is still under COVID restriction, I think. I can't exactly tell you how restricted it is or not yet.
USA number one.
um but Amsterdam was cool. We were there for a total, I think, of 4 days, maybe
Oh.
less. I might be mistaken with that. But the first day we got there, checked into our hotel, which is actually a boat. It was called a botel, and it's like this little ferry, and it's got a whole bunch of rooms, and you stay out of there. It was a little tiny room, but I bunked with my buddy, and it was fun. But we actually went out. The Museum of Sex is in Amsterdam. They have one,
Oh
and that was
yeah.
that was that was a cool time. Seeing all the artwork, and you know, shockingly, it had some pretty weird sex toys in there.
Oh yeah.
Like there
Uh,
was there was this one that You like go to this bench and you sit down in the chair, and then somebody flips a lever from the other side of the room, like not knowing that it correlates to the chair, and it like shoots a dildo up onto the chair.
Oh.
And my buddy sat down on it, and somebody pulled it. He was like, "What the heck?" Like, and it was funny. It was a funny time. Um, People there were amazing. You know, a lot of they had a lot of uh, soccer stores. I'll say soccer just because um, that's
USA
what
is
the
number
U.S.
one.
calls it. Um, but they had a lot of soccer stores and stuff, like with a whole bunch of you know um, merchandise to get your favorite team, and it's a very popular sport over in Europe, which I didn't realize that until I actually went to Europe for the first time. How popular it actually was, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, but yeah, we were there, had some good food, had some good times. I think they had a Hard Rock. No, that was in Italy. They had a Hard Rock cafe, which was cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's wow. That's weird.
yeah, but it's all different.
Yeah,
It's all different. Like,
you probably ate a lot and felt great when you were over there.
hmm
You probably lost some weight too. That's I hear a lot of people go over there and lose a lot of weight.
well, so I ended up not paying for a lot of my food 100% of the time because I would get something like an appetizer, right?
Hmm.
And the people I were with, there was I think six of us guys and then six uh, females that were in our group, and that was half of the people that went, right? That was half of us, and the other half was about the same.
Oh,
And
oh, and you cut out for a second.
basically, hello, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah, you cut out. So there were six females, and that's the last thing I heard.
Yeah, so it's like six and six, and the other group was also six and six, and we are all one big group um, of like 24 students. And basically, I would go to dinner or like lunch or something, and because we were always eating with the females, right? They would not eat all their food because you go to Europe and you pay for what like you don't pay that much. Like if you go to a local restaurant,
Yeah.
obviously it's not going to be super charging you because it's not a touristy area. Like we would go a couple streets down and find like a local restaurant that a family owns, and we'd eat there.
Oh, smart.
And they you'd pay I'd say 15 euros, right, for a dish like a pasta,
Okay.
right? It would be a huge plate of pasta,
Oh yeah.
and it's all like from scratch, and it was super awesome. And basically, like a lot of people wouldn't finish their food. So what I was doing, I was like, "Hey, yo, pass it over here," like, and I learned because I didn't go into there with like thousands of euros to spend. Like I had about an 800 euro cap of what I had to spend over there. So I was trying to save money at the same time, as well as getting gifts and things like that. So when people were like, when I realized nobody was finishing their food, I would just sit there and get like an appetizer, and my bill would be tiny, and then everybody else would have a lot more, and then they would give me their food that was left over because obviously we're moving around a lot, so we couldn't really take it to go because the next day we'd be leaving or taking a train or going on going around, moving around.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, we ended up getting taken to the red light district by the teachers, right? They were going to show us the culture and how it's legal there and stuff, right?
So stupid.
And it was just like a thing where it's like, hey, follow us, right? They weren't there to take care of us, just to make sure that we got from place to place and show us a couple things here and there, right? And they were showing us the red light district because that's a huge thing in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's like a huge thing. And we were about halfway through them taking us, and a bunch of us just decided, hey, I'm just gonna dip. So we left, and we just like turned around and started walking the other way. And what was interesting about it was, you know, I think what came from the term window shopping
Oh yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah.
is
Because
the
the
actual, you know, like it, I would assume, I don't know for fact, but I heard somewhere that somebody told me, this is where the term window shopping came from.
Yeah, because the
Because
women would be in the windows, and
exactly.
that's how they would draw. Well, that's still how they draw you. I don't know if they do that. Do they still? I think they still do that. I don't think that's changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So basically they had these glass doors that goes into a room and you just walk through and then, women are there at the door, either dancing in the door or opening the door and telling you to come in or, pointing, like they will literally point you out and be like, come here. And, there was a whole bunch of strip clubs that were there. Like all of it is sketchy. If you've never been to a place like that, like it's super sketchy. But one thing that people, I guess, don't really know about it is that the women will wear actual different types of lingerie or different types of clothing to tell you um what they're
willing to do.
what they're willing to do, right? And it was cool, like, it's just an interesting, like it's weird, but it's just an interesting thing that opens up your mind to know like how the rest of the world works. Like, having to understand that all these women probably got taken from their families or they just didn't have anything else to do, so they like are doing this now.
I think Amsterdam's on the up and up. I think they're pretty regulated. Regulated. That there's no issues there, perhaps. I'm not 100%, but I think Amsterdam prides itself on that. Um, Most of those countries over there, like in that region, do. But yeah, yeah. Once you get a little bit, once you start hitting like the Middle East, that's where it gets a little shady.
um, let's see. There was also a lot of weed shops there.
Oh yeah,
There was also a lot of weed shops.
they didn't
Vape,
they
weeds.
didn't like to be. I When I last heard that they were gonna try to get away from that because they didn't want to be known as the weed country or something like that. But I don't. I think they pretty much stopped. Like I think they were like, all right, well, that's people are only coming to our country for that. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that. Oh, I would love to go to Amsterdam. That's on my list. That's crazy that you guys just left the group.
Yeah, well, like we didn't have to be there. We just kind of dipped, and then we ended up that night. We were walking around, going to bars, like hopping from pub to pub and stuff. There's one drink I won't forget. It's called a Fat Frog. It's like a green drink with tequila, probably, and it was really good. And we ended up almost missing the last ferry to go to the motel.
Oh
And
shit.
me and my buddy were like sprinting through Amsterdam trying to get to this last thing. And then I really had to pee, right? So, not being used to their culture over in Europe, like you can't just go to the bathroom. At least in Amsterdam, you can't just walk into a public bathroom and then go to the bathroom. You have to pay to go. That's their taxes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
I had to fish out a couple, like, I'm sitting there about to pee my pants, and I'm just fishing through my pockets for a euro or two. And this dude, like, the bathroom security guy is like, you know, just watching me, and I'm like struggling. And then I put it in, and then I ended up using the bathroom, but we got back safely, obviously. So it was fun. Um,
They have to do that over there. They should start charging for the public restrooms only because it stops like drug use in the bathrooms. They tried that with the fluorescent lights before. I think that's the reason they do it over there. Or it's also like, yeah, I think it's the drug issue is why they started doing it. I could be absolutely wrong. Don't take anything I say on this podcast as truth. Half the time I'm completely wrong, but it's truth to me. And until otherwise, fuck
it's
you.
nuts. Let's see. Germany was fun. We took a pretty long train to Germany. It was a couple hours. Got to see some of the landscape, while we were flying or while we were taking the train.
Mm.
And it was actually really nice. I fell asleep blasting Eminem in my fucking ear. I had headphones on and like I was just passed out. And when I woke up, everyone was staring at me in the little booth that we had. And they're like, "How did you fall asleep? Like we could hear your music." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm just tired, dude."
Eminem's the
Um,
goat. Lullabies to
but
us.
but Germany was Interesting. So one thing about Germany, so I went to fuck, I can't remember exactly where. Munich, that's where it was. We
Okay.
went to Munich, and basically with the old um, World War II buildings, right, where you know the Nazi Party took over
Hmm.
during World War II, and like I think it was like bombed during the war and all that. Um, when they rebuilt the buildings, they left um, either painted cracks or like left little cracks in the foundations and like throughout the buildings so that people will remember their history. Like they don't openly like talking about it. You can
Yeah.
actually get arrested in Germany for talking about it like on a huge scale. And basically it's there so that they remember what happened, which is very interesting to me because, like why would you want that? But then I
It's
learned that it's like so that they don't go back to that time, which was
yeah.
awesome. Like I loved the whole time I was in Germany. It was freaking awesome. We went to a concentration camp, and
Oh, maybe don't
I
say that.
got
Maybe
to
that's not so awesome. Like
yeah, no,
the
no,
disclaimer that that's not.
it was
It
it was
was
a
it
good
was
time,
unique.
but
It was an experience.
yeah, it was a good experience because, you know, a lot of people just read about it in the books. They're like, oh, whatever. But
It's a
being
different
in,
feeling.
like, it was so weird, dude. Like, when we walked through the gate into that concentration camp that we went to,
Hmm.
um, it went extremely quiet. Like, you walk through, like, it was a huge open courtyard. Most of the buildings were broken, like completely destroyed, and it was just like little squares of where the buildings were. There was like
Yeah.
a lot of barracks, and it was only one building for like showing of how they lived, and it was just quiet. Like outside the gate, you could hear cars going by and everything. As soon as you step through that gate, it just got heavy, and it was
Yeah.
weird. It was super weird.
Yeah. It's like a dark.
Um,
It's like a dark aura is like around it. I've heard that it's wild.
yeah,
I
it
want to
was it was
experience it.
it was a huge like eye opening of how actually devastating that time period was and like the reality of, what had happened back then. And, it was a good experience to have at a young age because it definitely like opened my eyes for, you know, especially like now what I'm doing now and stuff. Like everything is just more serious to me just because, I got to experience how bad like things can get. Maybe not experience, but you can see how bad things got
Yeah.
and like what the feeling of how bad that was.
Like you want to hit
Um,
a German that's next to you, be like, "Good, that's for the past." And they're like, "They didn't do it." Sorry.
but like it was really cool experience. All in all,
Wow.
I hope that anyone that listens to this, you can get the chance to go over there and learn about it, because it's a very interesting experience to go through.
Yeah, because a lot of
Um,
people have forgotten about the past, which is the damning thing.
yeah, that's like the worst thing that can happen, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
it was only fuck uh math
quick math,
80
come on,
years
quick
ago,
math.
80 years ago, roughly. A little over 85 years ago, maybe. I think it well, when it really started, it was like the 1930s. I think it was
Yeah,
33. From a self-hating, it's just it's oh man, it's wild to think about. That shit gets my blood boiling. Oh, ooh, movies and all and games and all that can try to put you into that experience and let you know what it was like, but Ooh,
Yes, it's a different like you definitely feel it differently after you've been to places like that. Um, we'll move on from that. Croatia was a great time.
really?
Um, great time. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful. Like
I
we
don't
went to
know anything
Split, Croatia. Split. We took a ferry from the south of Italy to Croatia, I believe.
Oh, it's that close?
Yeah.
Wait, where is Croatia? This is hold on, now I gotta look this up. This is how much I know about fucking the world. I don't even know enough about fucking America. Um. Oh wow, it's
Croatia
right
is
there,
yeah, it's across the
literally across the Adriatic Sea. Is that what it's called?
yeah. Yeah. Um sorry, not the we didn't take it from south. We took it from
Venice.
hold on. Um trying to think if I can we might have hold on. I got to see where Split is. So Split's there. I want to say we took it from Viest or Pescara. Um but we took our ferry across and went to Split. And Split, Croatia is such a beautiful place. Oh my god. Um, there's like a side of the fucking area was beaches, and then the other side like you could hike through the mountain. You just saw like yachts everywhere. It was super cool, and it's very cheap there. The kuna, which is their currency there, is
Careful.
very very cheap, very cheap compared to the U.S. dollar or euros. So like
Oh, it's a Dutch-owned
the
country. What I'm seeing. Wait, am I wrong?
I can't
Let me
tell you.
stop reading this shit while you're talking. I am sorry. I'm confused. I've never like I've obviously heard of Croatia, but I just don't know. Oh, it was like a Roman-owned. Like yeah, I don't. Who the fuck lives in Croatia? Is it a French colony? Like what is it? Sorry, I'm gonna let you talk now instead of fucking interrupting you.
I'm not sure like exactly like that information about Split. I just know that it's a very very beautiful place, and while eating there, like I remember one of our bills was like 40,000 kuna, and it's just wild to be like, holy shit, I'm paying 40,000 for this meal, but it's just their currency or whatever. Um, and while I was there, the World Cup finals
Okay. Oh wow,
or
you
the
were there
World
doing
World
that.
Cup was going on, and
Not a
the
good time to be over there.
semifinals, the semifinals, they actually were playing and they won the semifinals,
Oh
and we were there that night. And I just remember until like 4 a.m. in the morning, like people were running through the streets, celebrating. Everybody was celebrating. It was crazy.
yeah, Europe gets a
Um,
little wild with that shit. They
oh yeah, they were like slashing tires. People were honking their horns through the streets the whole time. Like it was a
yeah,
wild
I don't
time.
get it. But then I think they just did that for the Knicks over here. So I mean, like, I guess it's the same thing. It makes it's weird being that invested in a sport. Like that's crazy
I
to
can
me.
tell you, I can tell you, in Canada, hockey gets pretty wild.
Yeah,
But
my
yeah, it's very interesting that we were there for that. Like we partied with them.
that's
They
crazy.
set up a whole um they put a projector in the park that was right next to us where our hotel was,
Yeah,
and they projected onto a huge screen, and like the whole town was there. Like there was so many people there to watch, and we went there, and we celebrated with them when they won. It was fucking awesome.
that's
Um,
amazing.
but
That's
yeah,
so crazy.
that's pretty much
Because
how.
that could have went one of two ways. If they had lost, it would have been bad.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. But we definitely had a great time. Like it was a really good experience. Especially being so young. I was 16, right? So, it was definitely a good experience to get out and see the world. I was fortunate to be able to do that at such a young age, and I
Yeah,
thank everybody that allowed me to do that. Um, mainly the school as well as my parents pitching in for that. So it was super awesome. I loved it.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
that's that's crazy. I mean,
that's
that's
the civilian side that was traveling. So, and I definitely enjoy traveling a lot. Um,
yeah. I've always
so
wanted to travel, but like I said, the farthest I've went is like Massachusetts. No, well, that's true. I live in Florida, so I've been over the whole over the. I lived in Maryland, so I've been all over the eastern seaboard, east, and I went up to Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and Connecticut. I mean, Connecticut's a 30-minute drive for me. Pennsylvania's like 45.
yeah,
Massachusetts a little bit longer. New Jersey's a little, well, New Jersey's longer. The city's 2 hours by train and by car because you have to stop so many fucking times along the train. Um, I mean, yeah, I haven't really. Six Flags was fun.
but yeah, man, like the traveling, it definitely opens your mind to how the world works and how everything's not the same as the U.S. Like the U.S.
No,
has pretty much everything that you need in life. Um, but
there's things we need to
I've
adopt from other places that would definitely
I've
make it
noticed
better.
I've noticed that um, basically like people who haven't traveled are just like surprised by some of the stories that I would tell, or they would be like, "Really? Like that's how it is over there?" It's like, yeah,
It's
like,
like, don't you have fucking the internet? Don't you Google this shit? How do you
but
not?
like,
People are so dumb.
but it takes that time and experience that you need to travel to really understand how the rest of the world kind of works.
Yeah, you'll
And
appreciate that living here a lot more if you go to some when you go to some places. But I mean, not really Amsterdam or any. But I mean, still, they have strict laws over there. People don't realize how much freedom they have over here
Mhm.
because there's a lot. Like there's those countries. They're like they pride themselves on keeping things in order. It's so you got, yeah, you definitely had an experience, especially 2018. Wow.
Yeah, before COVID and everything.
Yeah. Damn.
But it has reached 37 minutes. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to wrap up or you want to talk about something else, um,
We could probably wrap it up there,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
I
we're
think
gonna
it was
wrap
a
it up
pretty
here for
good
now.
pilot, yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it short. I guess I don't know how many we're gonna release. It's just random at this point. There's no. I mean, I definitely want to release like every Monday. Right now we're recording on it's actually, Cinco de Mayo. Oh no, it's Sunday. Holy shit. Um, but yeah, I'm not doing anything for Cinco de Mayo. Well, no, correction. I know my mother and I know my sister. They're gonna grab margaritas. I already know what they're gonna do. They're gonna use it as an excuse. Be like, "Hey, we're gonna drink." Like, all right, that makes it sound like alcoholics. They're not. They're not alcoholics. They're just when we drink, we're gonna if we're gonna drink, we're gonna drink. Like, we're not gonna sit here and go, "I'll have a sip of wine." No, we're gonna do it big. You doing anything for Cinco de Mayo?
Honestly, right now I have no idea.
True. Oh, you have to work tonight though.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna be able to. You can't. If you, yeah, you're not gonna be able to drink.
It'll be probably after work.
Yeah. So you're gonna have there. You're gonna have the guys meet you. That pause. Um. But yeah. Thanks. Thanks, guys. This is before the lobotomy. Oh, plugs. Plugs. Do you want anybody to? Where can people find you? If you want to promote anything.
I do stream on Twitch a couple times. The
It's
stream that I have, yeah,
it's the taco, right?
yeah, it's the Taco 4427. I usually stream Siege, um, trying to get up to higher rankings in that game. It's
Well,
pretty
you're
fun.
you're Emerald, right now?
Yeah, I'm just an emerald. I'm not even that good, but
I'm Emerald. Anyway, yeah, I suck at that game and I get pissed off at it. I'm good at Halo Infinite sometimes. Um, Anything else you want to plug? Or did you just have Twitch?
Twitch, and then my YouTube as well is Taco Cat. pretty much the same thing.
I'll
Same.
put those links in the description for you.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and then you can
I'll
find.
definitely
Oh, sorry.
I'll definitely start posting a little bit more. Right now, I have in the works a horror game that I'm playing,
Ooh.
Among the Sleep. Yeah,
Oh, I've heard of that. It's on my
yeah.
list, but I'm a huge sissy, so I can't play. If I play games on my horror games on myself, I have to have the music in the background because I can't do it. I'm like, I'm like, I can't. You can find me on Twitch, Emerald X1. All my socials are there. I'm on Instagram. I think I'm still on TikTok, on YouTube. I don't post. I stopped streaming for a little bit. I might start streaming again. We'll probably have um some games here that we might push. Not push, but like two person games type, that type of stuff. As well. We're thinking about doing movie nights behind the paywall, or not movie nights, but movie. That way you guys, it might be live, might not be live. Um, we haven't talked about that yet, but that's it for now. Like I said, subscribe, and we'll keep pushing out content for as long as we can. Uh,
If you wanna put some money into the Patreon to help us out with getting better stuff, getting cameras and better equipment, better mics and stuff like that,
making
feel
sure I
free
don't,
to help us out.
making sure that I don't go broke. Keep me fed. Um, Baby mamas need me. No, I don't have baby mamas. Yeah, things are in the works. We have a lot of things in the works, and I'm excited about this. Uh, yeah, that's it, guys. Have a good day. We'll catch you later.